When I was 16 years old, I used to be very overweight, and I didn't care that much until I was going to college part time, and there was a girl that I liked, and I wanted to lose some weight in order to ask her out. And I remember struggling with addiction to a lot of different foods, especially soda, but a lot of other foods as well. And I remember coming up with a two-step plan for how to lose weight. The first thing I would do is to get rid of all the crap in my diet and not worry too much about how many calories I was eating. Just make sure to get rid of all the crap first, even if I have to eat 10,000 calories. And so I made it a plan that I would make myself full almost 24/7 so that I would never have a weak point. Because I realized early on that part of the reason I would eat something suboptimal was because I was so hungry I couldn't think clearly about what I would put in my mouth next. So I came up with a two-step plan. The first step was to eat as many calories as I could just to make sure I wouldn't have a weak point and eat anything suboptimal. And then second, I would cut back on the calories. And I'll let you pause the video to think about what happened next in my life. Well, the problem is I never got to step 2. I completed step 1 beautifully. The problem is that for almost 20 years I never got around to step 2. I went on to work on my PhD, and then eventually I did get a girlfriend, and life just chugged away at me to the point that I really never got around to thinking even about part 2. And part of the problem was that I got away with it. I lost the weight without having to do part 2, at least for a long time. I mean, recently the weight has been creeping up on me, but for a long time I got away with eating 5,000 to 7,000 calories worth of healthy foods every day. The only reason I thought about cutting back on my food, it wasn't health related actually. It was because of social problems that I would face with food. What would happen would be that I would be at a situation where I couldn't get to my food, right? I would be at a meeting at work, I would be out with friends, and then I would have to excuse myself and leave the situation because I was thinking about food. It's kind of funny, I talk about food cravings. I crave healthy foods quite a bit actually, to the point where I'll literally leave a situation to get food. Or it would cause a rift, cause an emotional problem at a family gathering or at work. Last year, the big wake-up call was that last year I was doing tutoring, and I had a student who showed up too early, and I was still thinking about getting to my food, and my emotions weren't correct. And so I made it a resolution for 2020 that I needed to normalize my relationship with food. And that's what I called it. I didn't call it eating less. I called it normalizing my relationship with food. And then we learned that halfway around the world, somebody decided to eat something unusual, and as a result, everybody had to lock in their homes. And that became a big motivation to me, because I realized that I wasn't eating just for myself anymore, right? Maybe I'm not going to eat something that's going to cause the world to lock down, but at times I do think about food to the extent that it's affecting my job, and given what I do for a living, it's affecting the people that I serve, it's affecting my family and my friends when I have to excuse myself, or when my emotions are out of check because of my food cravings. It reminds me that we as much as we say we live and let live, we rarely live in isolation, as current events show, right? And so that became a good motivation for me. But the other message I want to get is that it's never too late, right? Even though it took me 20 years to go from step 1 to step 2, a lot of people complain about how bored they are during COVID-19. A lot of people complain that they were too busy to get around to their New Year's resolutions. Maybe this is a good time to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Thanks for watching.